Hold on, girl, with everything you got. Oh, not a tornado. Girl, no. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to Percy Jackson and the Olympians. We're on season 2, episode 4, which is called Clarice Blows Up Everything. Not surprising, that kind of feels like the vibe that Clarice is on right now. So anyway, last episode, we had our group, the trio, end up on the Andromeda, which turned out to be Kronos' ship, which is currently being manned by Luke. And the group thought that they were just going to be heading towards the Sea of Monsters, but of course they got intercepted by the Sims girl, and that ended up in a confrontation between the three of them and Luke. Well, actually mostly the two of them, because Tyson was busy doing other things. But anyway, in that conversation, the most important things that came out was that Percy discovered that there's a great prophecy that most likely involves him. It involves him, it's his series. But anyway, and also the fact that Kronos is talking to Luke as well as him. And so he still has a handful of his own secrets. He didn't share that, but when he had the one-on-one with Annabeth later on, asking her whether or not she believed that he was capable of doing what the prophecy said, she did not have an answer for him. So I think that it's gonna definitely continue this little angsty situation that's going on between the two of them going forward. And on the other side of things, Clarice is also on her way to the Sea of Monsters, but she had a little bit of a hiccup with her crew. They didn't quite respect her, but in the end, she brought them around with basically common ground instead of just straight force. And now they are all on the same page. So that's where we're at, ready to jump in. Just before I do though, please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell and leave some comments below. It really does help a girl out and I appreciate it very, very much. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now. A bracelet that sat in this sewer for Lord knows how long? Guess that means no one comes down here, which is a good thing.
But there are 3 of them.
They're Cyclopses. From what I hear, they're not that smart.
You better prove them wrong, Tyson.
Hopefully no one has grabbed our stash. Yes. It's all still here.
Very interesting how they're using the shadows. I mean, I could tell it's the same actor who played Luke, but... Oh, look at this little button.
Put this on.
What is it?
Might be a cereal treat.
Protection charm.
Good story.
Like Solly's bracelet.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
But this is from Kelagia, goddess of stealth.
Really?
You highball wearing this?
Even Annabeth's like, I'm the daughter of Athena. This feels like BS, but the sentiment is sweet, so I'll take it.
They found us. Positions. Now.
Yes, Julio! Finally, screen time! I thought it was not a joke.
You're a protector.
Who sent you?
Chiron. He's the activities director for Camp Half-Blood. I'm supposed to take you there.
Poor baby.
We can't stay here. We gotta move.
You ain't wrong. Aw. She said I have to protect the baby. How did it come off your wrist then? Maybe it fell off. The sentimental value though. Thank you, God of Kelagia. But also with that memory I get now why Annabeth's a little bit sensitive about Cyclops.
Annabeth said you're dangerous. That you're gonna hurt everyone. I don't like her talking about you like that.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, Annabeth's my girl, but that's your brother. Come on now.
Sometimes prophecies don't always mean what you think.
Very true.
Even more important. Do you want to know what it is?
Yeah. Leave us in suspense. That is such a bro thing to do. Ugh. Jesus! That was definitely Clarice. But she made it so that they can't leave her. Not a dumb move. Now they have to give her the coordinates or they got no way to get there. How did she find them though? That must have been her dad.
Clarice, who are your friends?
And how'd you find us?
You think your daddy's the only one with sea power?
Yes, actually.
Wait. We'll give you the coordinates if you take us with you.
What?
What?
Yeah.
You're gonna need all the help you can get. I've memorized every legend about the trials you'll have to face out there.
I'm the smart one, remember?
And Percy? Well, he's the son of Poseidon.
God of the sea?
That's Pierre, naval navigator to Napoleon.
And how did Napoleon's
Boris is
whole regime turn out?
Single combat.
Exactly.
Same way I beat your dad.
That's right. I spanked your daddy, girl. You don't want to take this fight. You don't want this smoke.
Stay back. I got this.
We are by the water. I hope he remembers that. In this fight, please, Percy, remember, you can drown her. Not don't do it, but I'm just saying you could. Annabeth's like, let me just sneak back with my invisible hat. Good girl. She's like, while the hotheads fight. Oh. Well, you don't have the Argonaut anymore. Or that dude. Was that you, Annabeth? Fight smarter, not harder.
Killed them?
Oops.
They were already dead, so not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Can anyone else here run the engines? Carrington?
Maybe you shouldn't have brought them all to shore. This is why you're not a strategist, my love.
Mitch?
I ran a blockbuster! Thank you!
I don't care about the satyr. This is my quest.
And we just want to help you finish
It
it,
really wasn't yours.
right?
He's like, actually, I really want to throw her in the ocean.
Aye, aye, Captain.
You can't beat her brain. I'm sorry, Clarice. You just can't. That is literally Annabeth's thing. I mean, beauty as well, but come on.
Why don't we just sail around Scylla and
Right? He's not
the thing I
crazy for asking this question.
See, monsters doesn't work like that.
What's your plan, Clarice?
Yeah, exactly, smart mouth.
Charybdis is a sitting duck that makes her my prey.
And if that doesn't work, this ship gets crushed and we get eaten.
You got a better idea?
Actually, always.
You can spare 6 guys. Your crew's already dead.
No, I'm not doing that to them.
Why not?
Because she cares about them.
You just be sending them home a little early.
That's not how she feels about them. And she
I
made them a
promised
promise.
museum.
Yeah.
What?
Which, again, I don't know if she had the right to do that.
Only the gods can decide that.
I was gonna ask Ares.
You should have
When
done
we
that.
win. Clarice.
Because if I know Aries, he's not that generous.
I never said it was a problem. I just like my plan.
But if your plan doesn't work, you lose your quest, your ship, and all
Yeah,
your-
there's no plan B. Look at what, see? This is why you needed Annabeth on the ship and Percy.
How do you know it's the right choice?
Snarky.
Honestly. Because it's yours.
Smart turnaround. Annabeth's like, damn, I can't argue that logic. And it was kind of hot. I love when people realize that I'm right all the time. You don't wear it anymore? Is it because you're pissed at Luke?
There's a lot more to our world than just monsters. After what you've been through, you deserve to see that.
And all we have to do is join Cold Half-Blood.
I mean, isn't everything a cult, kind of, in this world? Let's be real.
One powerful demigod is already enough to attract the attention of some pretty nasty creatures, but 3 together, and one of them, a child of Zeus? Is that really the life you want for yourself?
I don't think she cares, but she's got a little button with her.
For her?
Grover. With the killing blow.
How long have you been together?
Just a little. Dolly's real strong, and Luke's real fast. But I got this. Wait,
Oh, it fell off. Aw, bless her. She'll never lose it again. Unless she throws it away on purpose. I don't blame her. She's a little angry at Luke right now, and that's valid. Or did she not really throw it? Oh, and it was tossed back. The ocean said, keep your Cologian trash, man. Or was that, maybe that was Hermes. Hermes was like, don't give up on my boy, please.
Oh, we're moving at 23 knots, 36 degrees, 44 minutes north. Hold on.
How do I know this?
How do I know that?
Poseidon kid. Guess he didn't quite pass out on the Tyson yet.
I wonder why I can't do it.
You've got other skills.
Maybe you will.
That's true. Maybe they'll develop later. One thing you should learn about children, they don't get the exact same traits from the same parents even. So,
If we're really going that fast, I better go check on the boilers.
see, that's your talent, Tyson. Percy can tell you exactly where you are in the water, but he could not fix a boiler in a pinch.
No, I was just playing with Rainbow.
How did you even get this?
I'll fix the boiler.
Just lighten up on it a little bit, Annabeth. Toss it again. She trying to sneak out to go find her bracelet.
Gotcha.
round two. Hermie's gonna throw that ish right back. Oh no, what is that? It's a rainbow. Oh, that's what he meant when he said he's playing with the rainbow. He was literal. They think it's a game.
The plan is solid. Clarice is talking to her men right now.
Doesn't matter. The best plan can be undone by the smallest mistake.
He's like, okay, girl, what's going on with you?
I went back for it. And that put us all in danger.
Respectfully, Annabeth, smart as you are, you were a child. Children make decisions they shouldn't all the time because it's our first life, you know?
Egypt.
And by the way, you didn't make them come for you, girl. They wanted to.
So you messed up.
It's possible.
You saved your life. I don't get it.
It wasn't the first time I slowed them down and messed up.
You were 8.
Your family now. And we take care of our own.
So if the safest place for you is this camp,
Thinking like a true big sister bear.
So you let this Chiral know
This
that if
Chiral.
anyone tries to hurt this little girl, I have me to answer to.
Purr.
When we finally thought we made it,
Damn.
Furies attacked.
That's why you got a special hatred for those hoes. I don't blame you, Annabeth. They kind of ugly.
You're a forbidden child. And according to the great prophecy, that makes you a weapon like she was.
According to the prophecy.
If I can just think 6 steps ahead, I can save you. But it's never gonna be the big impossible choice I have to outthink. It's all the million little choices I can't see.
Bars. And the fact that you can't control.
Human choices.
Yeah, exactly. You can't control humans. We're always the ink in the ointment.
Sacrificing yourself for a kid you barely know.
She knew you better than that.
2 months.
Still.
You
She
only
cared.
took me 2 days to see how special you are.
Oh, bars.
All we can do is the right thing and hope for the best.
Welcome to being human.
And I'm not bragging, but my track record at surviving impossible odds is pretty good.
Right? Like, take it where you
Thank you.
can. Y'all are a pretty good
So let's go
team.
do the impossible.
Look, someone else reaching out their hand to you. These big 3 really like you, Annabeth. You special, girl.
I need 6 brave men to man the deck artillery when we face
Ooh.
the trial of choice.
Or maybe sacrifice
The
yourselves.
6-armed beast.
Oh, that makes it harder.
I warn you, it will be a highly dangerous duty.
She's like, please don't volunteer.
For victory in Elysium, we will follow you anywhere.
But you know what? They might get Elysium because they did it. Right? Maybe. See, the weight of leadership is heavy, isn't it? People always think being a boss is easy, but if you're a good boss, it's very hard. Just gonna arbitrarily grab something over here.
last year, your quest, how did you survive it?
With my friends.
Would have died. A lot. If it weren't for my friends.
You need to lean on people, Clarice. That's why quests usually have 3.
I imagine your dad must be pretty tough to have as a dad.
He did tell me he hates you all.
Body slammed by him.
Let you cracking jokes.
I have to make him proud.
A lot of the stuff we do because of our parents. Whether we know it or not.
That's also a bar.
We're our own people, too.
This sage advice.
You wouldn't have been granted a quest unless you had it in you to finish it.
Look at him being everyone's cheerleader.
Why do you want to know?
Because prophecies suck.
They really do. He's been there.
It's almost like they're made to scare you.
It doesn't scare me.
Liar.
But despair for your life entombed within stone and fail without friends. Fly home alone.
So you heard that part and still didn't pick 2 people.
Yeah, it's not so bad.
He's like, I think there's a silver lining in there. We just gotta look for it.
We're not friends.
Sure. But we're not enemies anymore. We're moving up.
We sail into glory.
Woo. Wow, that looks super inviting. Yeah, I think the only person who should be anywhere remotely relaxed in this area is probably Percy. If he's more developed in his powers, he'd probably be able to clear up this mist a little bit. Oh, that's one. You didn't catch that, Napoleon? There's two. Y'all, these guys literally have muskets. Could you not arm them better, Ares? Spare Blockbuster. He didn't even make it to his 20s. Uh-oh, did he figure out why they're out there? He figured out why he's there.
Because heroes slay monsters. They don't run from them.
Small choices. I feel small.
No, it's kind of a big one, but you know what? I don't blame her. She feels an actual connection to this crew. You guys don't, and that's fine. I don't think you can defeat Scylla, but maybe you can slow her down. Oh, what's going? No, don't like that. You can just go right back down to wherever you're going. Thank you. Oh, is that just the whirlpool? I should say just. That's a pretty scary whirlpool. Oh. I want some mixture. It's a whirlpool and a monster. All right, you know your daddy did give you these big guns. Now you're gonna use them.
The thermos.
It's in Hermes' bag. You fight the current, I'll fight the wind.
Go!
Teamwork, baby! And good on Percy for finally being like, I have these powers. Let me see what more I can do with them. I mean, it's a good thing he's not relying on them all the time, but still. Feel it, Percy. Come on. This is not something you need to see. Feel it. Feel it.
More power! Yes, brother!
So cute. He said, use that Cyclops strength quickly. Do this quickly, otherwise that boiler is going to blow up. Oh my God, please, Annabeth's so tiny. Please, Lord. Girl, no! Thank you, Clarice. That's some hero right there. Oh, it's messing the hell up out of the. Oh, good thing you fireproof, boy. Yep, that was gonna happen. Hold on, girl, with everything you got. Oh, not a tornado. Is we going airborne? That is a great shot. I'm smelling the budget right now, guys. I'm smelling it. Oh my God, this is literally getting ripped apart plank by plank. Where's Tyson? You did not end it here. I'm displeased. I'm not all right. Okay, fine. All right, guys. Well, that was episode 4. And it was really good. Really, really good. Like I said, from the last 2 episodes, you can see how much bigger and better this show has gotten this season. Like, I'm really, really, really impressed with how well everything is being done and the development of everything. Like, this whole episode, I know was not easy to shoot, but the marriage of the practical versus the amount of like CGI they had to do in here was pretty much seamless. Like, I really had to look to see what parts would have been, you know, the CGI, the green screen part of it, and how much it was actually a practical set that they would have built on. And clearly all those poor actors were soaked for the majority of this day. So I do hope they had lots of hot cocoa afterwards. But anyway, really good episode. We dealt with a lot of really good things here as far as like connections. And I really like that, you know, I feel like season 1, we didn't focus as much on the connections. Like, we definitely had moments with Percy and Annabeth and Grover, but I feel like there was a lot more that was usually focused on the activity of the episode. Whereas in this one, I feel like they're doing such a good job of balancing, of course, the action and the cool things that they get to do on the quest, but also the really important relationship and connection building that's required, you know, particularly Percy and Annabeth, but by extension, Tyson and now Clarice and, you know, all these different people. And it's important to do that because it gives us more investment as an audience and it helps us to see and understand their growth a lot more. And then when certain things happen later on in either this season or maybe next season, they don't feel as jarring or out of nowhere when we don't have these like beautiful connective bridging episodes like this for us to see where these things come from. So just want to give the claps and snaps for that right out of the gate. But yeah, let's talk about, for example, so let's talk about like Percy and Tyson on that one, right? They're on the beach, they fix up the boat. Of course, Tyson does it in 2 minutes. And we hear Tyson get a beautifully protective of Percy when he's like, oh, Annabeth, you know, she's talking smack about you. And I almost thought for a second that he was believing her, like right off the bat, like, or not believing her, but feeling like what she said about Percy would potentially be true. And I was about to say, bro, like, calm down. But thankfully, you know, Tyson is very loyal. He's fiercely loyal to the people he cares about. And, you know, he just wants to know like what's going on. And we see that Percy just kind of reassures him, right? He doesn't get, he doesn't play into it too much. He just says, listen, you know, these prophecies, they're not clear. They're not straightforward. And that's why it's kind of hard for anybody to figure out what they mean. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. And then, of course, you know, he has a very brother moment of burping in his ear, right? Like that's just, but anyway, not just boys, actually. I've seen siblings that any gender do that kind of stuff. But anyway, point is, it was one of the first things we've seen of Percy. It's one of the first things we've seen Percy do that is very sibling coded, right? We know that he's really been struggling with just accepting that this is his brother. And that, I mean, again, I think it's just so funny too, because I mentioned this a few episodes back. It's like, Percy, you've met other brothers of yours. You remember the weird guy from the waterbed shop? That's your brother too. But I think it was easier for Percy to detach that older dude who is kind of like whatever was a sibling, whereas Tyson is closer to his age. He knows his mom cares for him, right? So it's a lot more of an intimate interaction with Tyson. So I get it, you know, as you know, you're an only child, it's very difficult, especially when you're an only child for a long time. It's very difficult to sometimes reconcile what it is to be sharing your status as a child with somebody else, right? I mean, with his dad, foregone conclusion, but with his mom, I think that's really what got Percy a little bit apprehensive about Tyson in the first place, was that his mom has so much care and affection for him as well. And Tyson, you can see, already kind of regards her as a mother figure. So, you know, for Percy, it's a lot for him to adjust to not being the center of his mom's world anymore. But all the same, you know, he's had time to process it, and he's seen how fiercely loyal that Tyson is. So now, you know, he's like, you know, I gotta let these walls down. You know, Tyson's accepted it. I need to get on board. You know, he's a good kid. He's given us no reason not to like him. So anyway, so I like that was a really nice bonding moment between the two of them. You know, I do think Percy, I think Percy was always going to be protective of him, but now it's coming from a more emotional place versus like a my mom told me so sort of place. So there was that. We see that Clarice ends up with them, and you know, she makes the smart move of making sure that they either have to help her or go with her. But again, my girl Annabeth even smarter. She said, okay, you don't want to take us on the quest with you? All right, well, I'll take out all the people you said you need. Now what you gonna do? That's right, I'm the brains of the operation. Respectfully, Clarice, you know, you don't compete on this level. It's okay, not many can. So anyway, they get together finally, which is good, because I mean, this was given to Clarice, even though it was not in fact her quest. And we're going through, we see that the heads are butting, right, between Percy and Clarice, because they're very similar in nature as far as being a little bit more hot-headed and making decisions first and thinking later. So Annabeth has to kind of come in and be the tempering. I like that she's the tempering agent between both of them, right? Clarice isn't particularly like either of them, but she recognizes that Annabeth has got sense, right? So anyway, you know, they figure out kind of what they need to do, and a real growth point for Clarice, maybe not a growth point, but maybe something that we as an audience get to see, is that when Annabeth tells her about the plan, like of which trial they have to go through, she chooses the one where crew members have to be sacrificed, right? Because she's like, this is the one that we know has a track record. You have enough men to do it. You know, they're already technically dead, so we're really not killing anyone here. So, you know, it seems like it's the easiest and the most reasonable option. But we know that from the last episode, Clarice really, she bonded with her men, right? The reason that they're loyal to her now is not because she was dictatorial and made them do it. It's because she appealed to them from the same place that she was, of like, hey, I want to win something. I want to, you know, be proud of it. And then she, of course, made a promise to them, which I genuinely think she wanted to fulfill, of them getting to go to Elysium instead of back to the underworld. So when Annabeth suggested this, she's like, well, they're not just, you know, dead men walking to me. They're people that I made a promise to. They're my crew. They've given me their loyalty, and that means something, right? Because that's really what Clarice wants, right? She wants to be worthy of leadership. She wants to be worthy of people looking up to her, right? True good leaders care about whether or not the people who follow them really do respect them and feel like they're the right person for the job. And also as a son or the daughter of Ares, it's important to be a good leader, right? Because war people, you know, if you're a general or whatever the case may be, you need to be able to command your army, but you also need the respect of your soldiers, really, if you want them to fight at their best. And so all those things are important to Clarice. And even though, yes, this is a dead man crew, they have feelings, clearly. They have thoughts, they have their own desires. And so she cares about all of that. And she also cares about her word. She did tell them that she wanted them, or she did promise them, which again, she probably should not have done that, right? Annabeth kind of made it clear, like, girl, you can't give them Elysium. That's a God's decision. Like, but she was like, I was gonna ask my dad, but I'm like, if he let them go to the underworld the first time and resurrected them as losers, that's his term. He said they're losers. What made you think Ares was going to give them Elysium? But then, you know, I shouldn't say anything. She probably knows her dad better than others, but it was a hell of a promise for her to make with literally no guarantee that she'd be able to deliver on it. So anyway, that doesn't change the sentiment. And so I just really like seeing that, because most of what we've seen of Clarice last season and even going into this season has been her more arrogant, pushy, you know, mean side, quite literally. Seeing that she actually genuinely cares about this is a nice development for her. And it's a good quality that she cares about what the people she leads feels, because that's a sign of a good leader, is that she's like, I don't want to let my crew down. I don't want to let the people who follow me down. So it's something I hope she'll develop on more. And I think that one of the reasons why she will be more concerned with that and not let that go, because I'm pretty sure if Ares showed up, he would be like, screw these guys, you know, do what you want to do. They're just, you know, we don't care about them. But again, if she wants to be a better leader than her father ever was, then that's kind of the thing she needs to take into account, especially with humans being the people that she's leading. But anyway, we see that later on, the weight of that decision is really kind of weighing on her. And her and Percy actually have a really good conversation, because they really have not talked since he arrived in Camp Half-Blood, right? She immediately saw him as competition, and then she immediately saw him as competition and as an enemy, because he's one of the big three kids. So, you know, someone else who was going to stop her ascent to glory. So they never really got a chance to talk. And it's sad because, as I said, him and Clarice are actually very similar in their temperament and the way they think. And I really think they have a lot more in common than not, being, you know, the children of the people they are children of. So anyway, this episode, I really love that Percy, you know, he didn't have to talk to her, right? He really has no reason to extend an olive branch, but he really did. He came in, you know, pretending, well, actually not pretending, he really did need a sandwich, but you know, he kind of used that as like a way to just broker a conversation with her, and just dropped a lot of really wise bars on her. And I think she didn't realize that Percy is that smart. You know, again, I think it's a huge thing. They don't touch on it too much in the show, but in the books, they talk about how Percy struggled so much with feeling like he wasn't very smart because of his dyslexia. And also the writer of this series, we know that one of the reasons he made these books was to help his son, who had dyslexia and ADHD, to feel better about himself and to not allow the worlds and misinterpretations of his situation to, you know, affect the way he actually viewed himself. So I think it's a big deal for Percy to be able to come and be able to drop the sage advice that he had from, like he told her, like, you know, I just barely made it through my quest last year, but it wasn't because of me alone. Like, I would not be here if I'd done it alone. I needed Annabeth. I needed Grover. Their guidance, their friendship, their care for me is why I got this far. And so he's like, you need, basically telling her without telling her that you need people to rely on in this world, period. But definitely when you're doing something like this, there's a reason why the quests name at least 3 people to go on them. So, you know, we hear that Clarice kind of is like, you know, I don't need friends, you know, I don't really need to do that. I just need to succeed. And Percy dropping some amazing bars about just humanity in general, about how we all, pretty much all of us, if we have parents in our life or parental figures, we do things to make them proud. And he said, whether we're aware of it or not. I love that part, because sometimes you hear people, oh, I don't care about it. Screw you, Dad. Really? But you're still doing things. Even if you're doing things against what your parents want, it's because you want attention, right? I've always said that, like, attention's attention, whether it's positive or negative. So even kids that are seemingly acting out and doing things against their parents, it is because they want that attention. We're built that way as humans, right? We wouldn't, if we didn't need parents, we would just pop out of the earth like, you know, like cabbages or something, and then we would be here. But no, people, we need parents. We are literally born to be a dependent species. So all that to say that, Percy just letting her know that you can't go with this alone, Clarice. Like, as much as you want to be your own singular badass, you need people. Even Ares needed people, or other gods in this case. But anyway, great little bonding session with the two of them. And as she said, she had to make sure she told them that they weren't friends. But I mean, maybe they're not friends. It's true. Maybe they're not. That's too strong of a word, but at least they're no longer enemies, right? Like, they now understand each other on a better level. So it won't be quite so sparky, so straight into a clash between the two of them now when they have to interact. And so anyways, that's chapter 1 of Father Percy. Chapter 2, he was the real pastor of this episode. Annabeth. We had a lot of backstory on Annabeth this episode. We finally got some flashbacks as well. When they announced the actress who's going to play Thalia, I was like, okay, when are we going to get to see her? And we finally do get to see a bit of her now. Because, we know that otherwise she's just been the tree. So we got some flashbacks and it gave us some good insight into why Annabeth is so connected and feels such a connection to both Luke and to Thalia. And first of all, the actress that they chose to play young Annabeth, so cute. She was such a little button. I think the main things I took from those flashbacks is the amount of gentleness and protectiveness and care that Luke showed to her. Even though they weren't together for a short amount of time at that point on the run, you could see that Luke was there. He was protecting her. He really made it a priority to make her feel safe, to make her feel protected, to make sure she wasn't scared. And that's over and above if you really think about it, right? Compared to Thalia, where again, it's not that she didn't do that, because Thalia was much more of we gotta stay on the move. She was more on I'm taking the point on protecting and, making sure we're safe. Whereas Luke was more concerned with making sure that Annabeth was okay, on more levels than just her physical well-being. So, you can see, but between the two of them, they kind of were like her parental figures, right? Luke kind of being more the mama bear energy, honestly, and then Thalia being more the papa bear energy. But anyway, the point is, they really did look out for her. And I can see, especially as her being a child on her own, that kind of protective, caring energy would have been something that would have really touched her very deeply. And then we see the story of the bracelet that she got from Calagia. I love that, Calagia. Anyways, and we see that it's there. And again, maybe it wasn't even supposed to be there because I feel like she didn't lose it there. Again, I have a sneaking suspicion Hermes is making sure that bracelet keeps showing up on her face, but it really triggered the memories for Annabeth. And long story short, we see that in her flashbacks, that's the reason why they ended up having to make a mad dash for Camp Half-Blood, but more importantly, the reason why the monsters were able to get to them, as easily as they did is because my poor girl was out there trying to find this bracelet because the sentimental value of the bracelet, I mean, she also did believe it was magical at the time, but it was a sentimental value, really. That's what it was. Somebody who cared about her gave her something, and it meant something to Annabeth. So she went out there trying to find it. She was 8. She made an 8-year-old decision, right? Kids do this, right? The expression is kids are not careless, they're carefree. They don't think. And even though she was the daughter of Athena, and she does have the ability to think really well, there's only so much, life experience is necessary to make good decisions as well. And Annabeth didn't have that at that point. She was a child. So she genuinely thought she'd be able to just sneak out, get her little bracelet, and come back before anyone noticed. And, in that moment, unfortunately, it caused Thalia to have to make a decision. Well, Luke as well, but that they didn't necessarily want to make, right? They wanted to keep staying on the road. They didn't want to go to Half-Blood, but because they cared for Annabeth and they knew that she was so young that the heat they were going to draw as older gods, or older demigods, I should say, it was going to be too much for young Annabeth, who wasn't quite there yet, to deal with. And Grover, like I said, my man Grover, he may not have Annabeth's superior thinking abilities, but my man is very good with an argument. He could be a lawyer. He was like, okay, y'all might be okay out there, but what about this little girl here? What about this beautiful little button? You gonna be okay? You gonna be okay protecting her? Are you gonna be able to protect her? Are you gonna be okay if y'all end up being the reason she don't make it, right? And of course, both of them cared about her. So that was not even an entertainable option. And after she almost got taken by those Cyclops, that's when, it really hit Thalia, especially, that I don't want to take this risk with her. I'm not okay with that. So, all that showed to me, and I think that's what Percy was trying to bring out to Annabeth, is that, yeah, well, maybe you only knew her for 2 months, but Thalia cared that much about you in 2 months that she was willing to do something she really didn't want to do, which was go to Camp Half-Blood to ensure that you were safe. And I think by extension, Luke as well, right? She cares enough about you. So that doesn't matter. Time The concept of love and time is such a stupid thing that humans have just highly overcomplicated. You know, oh, you can't know someone in 2 months. Oh, you can't love somebody in what? Love is the most natural emotion that we have as humans. It's literally what we're born to do, right? You people who adopt a baby and someone hands that baby that the mother didn't gestate and the father did not create, but you hand that baby to the parents that are ready to be parents and they love that child instantly. It's not hard to form a connection with somebody. It's not hard to love somebody, especially in a situation where like those kids were in, where they're literally in a traumatic situation and bonding. So anyway, the timing doesn't matter. And Percy kind of brought that out to Annabeth, like, don't worry about whether or not you knew her versus not knew her, how long it was. The bottom line is Thalia made that sacrifice because she cared about you. And it wasn't because, you know, you weren't worth it. It wasn't because you made some dumb decision. She cared about you and she made that decision because she wanted to. So you need to stop carrying that as like a fault situation. She didn't want to do it. She wouldn't have done it. If Luke didn't want to do it, he wouldn't have done it. They wanted to because they cared about you. And you just need to kind of take that as what it is, as the love and care it was. And, you know, every day that you're here and alive and kicking is an homage to that decision that Thalia made. Don't think of it as, oh, she's this tree because of me, you know? So anyways, he just dropped some really good bars for Annabeth about, again, just not being so focused on always knowing the outcome, right? Because like she said, I'm always trying to stay 6 steps ahead because of what happened to me so I can protect the people I love. But like she said, I can make the perfect plan, but there could be one little, as she called it, one little mini decision that wasn't a small decision that's unpredictable, it can derail it. And I'm like, yeah, welcome to humanity. You can't plan for humans. And thank God, right? So many things in this world would be so much worse off if there hadn't been one person who made a sideways decision that no one could have anticipated, that literally just was, you know, the stick in the spokes that derailed the whole thing. So yeah, like, you know, Percy just said, let's just focus on getting one thing at a time. Instead of you planning what's going to happen 10 years from now, let's get through this one quest to get Grover. That has to happen. That's our immediate concern. We'll figure it out, right? Don't worry about it. And I'm here. Like he basically said, don't think you're doing this on your own. Like we're all here to help you. So beautiful moment. Love that. I think that was a good way for them to also start bridging that gap that, you know, started to develop at the beginning of the season again. You know, Annabeth opening up, Annabeth letting her insecurities show with Percy. That's a huge deal because we've heard that Percy is a talk it out kind of guy. He likes to be able to converse with the people that are in his life, and Annabeth having that trust in him, I know, did a lot for repairing some of the damage that happened earlier this season. So that was good. And then, yeah, speaking of small decisions that affect everything, we see that despite the plan, Clarice just couldn't let it happen. You know, her responsibility, her leadership told her, I can't just sit back and watch these people get snatched, even when, especially when she saw the Napoleon guy look at her when he realized what was going on. And he didn't give her a dirty look or anything. He just kind of like, okay, fair, I get it. And then just kind of got snatched. And then she was like, nah, man, I can't live with that. So they decided to fight. She's like, well, that's what we're supposed to do. Aren't we supposed to slay monsters? Isn't that what we're supposed to do as heroes? So let me go out there and use this artillery my daddy gave me. So I really don't have any issues with that. Good on Clarice. She followed her conscience and it was the right decision in that regard. But yeah, unfortunately, it didn't give Percy a lot of time to counteract the plan. And I love, like I said, he said, let me try to control the current, but the wind is another factor, which again, that's that nautical brain kicking in. And Annabeth, don't worry about it, I'll do it, but things did not go according to plan as usual, right? There's always a monkey wrench, right? And yeah, as we see, unfortunately, because the canister of gale force winds got unscrewed a little too much, it blew up the boat. Between that and, of course, poor Tyson trying to give the boiler to the max so that they go full throttle, it was a little too much in a small contained space. So as we see, the boat is literally tearing apart as we see it. There is a vortex that was created by the gale force winds, which Percy cannot control, so he says. And yeah, I don't even know where Tyson is. I think he's okay, though, because he's fireproof. But yeah, we'll see whether or not those Poseidon skills come in case he is submerged in water right now. So yeah, they ended us on a cliffy. I'm not happy about that, but it's okay. I cannot wait for the next episode. I'm not sure if it is next week because I know the holidays are coming up, but I certainly hope we get one next week. But I'm loving it. I'm loving this season so far. They're doing a fantastic job. I'm enjoying every single episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love and I'll see you in the next one.